この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am back for more ReZero, which is a little bit of a surprise, but here we are. I just rewatched the previous episode, which was episode 21, and sort of set up everything to come. We've got a mansion battle, we've got a battle between Ram and her master, and also the person that she seems to have a deal to kill, Roswell, and he's going forward with his whole plan despite being addressed very seriously and communicated with, I think, effectively. I'm not exactly sure because some of it was done in subtext, but I think that he and Subaru understand where each other are coming from and just fundamentally disagree and are going to choose to fight this out. We are also back in the mansion where a brother and sister have been reunited in order to save everybody in the mansion from slicey, dicey, organ rearranger lady. And also there's a little child who has beast monsters, but I forget what's going on with that. It's been a little while since we've seen that like version of this loop, so I don't know if that person's actually going to be here. And during all of this, Emilia is walking once more into the weird temple thing in order to face another trial, because there are, this time, 3 that she needs to go through. We're doing all of these things all at once, and I have no idea what we're going to, focus on as we push through. I think we have to follow up our, disjointed situation, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but, we've got a bunch of different story beats going on all at once, and they're all set up so that they all kind of bam! And I think what we want to do is create interesting juxtapositions between the ways that these characters overcome their obstacles or enemies and create a theme or a thesis through that, right? Like Emilia pushing through on her front and Subaru pushing through on his front to save people, and Garf and his sister working together, and Ram going and doing the fight with Roswell. It's all and with Puck as well. We gotta remember that Puck is here. I also have a cat co-pilot who's sitting way up there, and I can't get her in frame, but she's here and she's being really cute, and she might actually stay for the entire episode and stuff. She also might yowl at me and be asked to be let out, so that might happen at some point. We might get interrupted. That's fine. But I'm hoping, thinking, guessing that if we've done our storytelling properly, then all of these pieces that we've set up, which was why it was so important for me to go and rewatch them, all these pieces that we've set up and all the thematic elements that underlie them, like Emilia coming to accept herself and see herself as not rejected by reality, and remember that there's love in the world, and that it's kind of unfairness and some fucked up shit that's happened that's forced her into these circumstances that she couldn't really control, that led to the whole thing, right? She's able to sort of forgive herself for that situation, and then she's going to go into the next trial, and I don't know what that's going to be, but I think she should be armed with what she just had. She's armed with, the outside support from Subaru that helps her in the brain. She's armed with, the love of Mother Fortuna to move forward. She's got all these things that are arming her. Garf is armed with, the shields that he has, but also with friendship, and also with, a new sense of self, and also with a willingness to connect with his sister, and that's all pretty good. Ram has changed a little bit, but it's kind of unclear what's going on there, but she's with Puck and they're working together, and so at least there's this togetherness that's going on there, and at least that's a thematic through line. So all of these things are going to be happening, and then there's Betty. There's Betty and Subaru, and I don't know how we convince Betty to go along with the thematic thrust of everything else, but that's the node that sort of ties everything together in our story. If we can get all of these pieces to come to fruition in a positive and interesting way, and then build that into this cathartic moment of change with a character that we haven't been able to see eye to eye with completely so far, then that'll be really good. I don't necessarily expect all of that to happen this episode. That would be crazy, but that's where I think we're moving toward over the course of this climactic finale situation. There are question marks, though, because there's the broader world going on, there's the bigger set of political plays, there's witch stuff and god shit that I don't understand, and also some real, genuine fate reincarnation bullshit around Emilia that may or may not be in her control. So, whatever bullshit the pitcher throws at us might be a curveball. But if it's just a line drive, then we've got everything set up and it should be solid. And I've got a weird baseball metaphor going, and maybe we'll be able to carry that through the episode. let's give episode 22 of ReZero a shot. I've been provided with some custom subs for this one. Yeah, we're gonna watch it, and that's it. We're gonna watch it. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for continuing on in the journey with me that I'm continuing on. Not giving up here, just struggling. Yeah, is what it is. Much love. There'll be there'll be two versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description down there, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. You're probably currently watching it right now. It'll have a beep timer, and we'll go beep timer. Ooh, fun. Let's get moving, Aniki. Aniki. Gotta save that Oni. Aww. Aww. See, that's what I mean. That's like, that. We are just starting with that, so maybe it's gonna go horribly wrong. Oh, fun. Less fun. We like torturing our opponents when we're the good guys. That's catharsis. When it's the bad guys doing it, it's evil. When it's the good guys doing it, it's catharsis. She's cut through the smoke? Sweet. Okay. Oh, we're doing a thing. We're the opponents. So cut to Subaru? Cut to Subaru. Fuck off. Kashira. You think they won't come in here? Oh. Whoa. Okay, that is the curveball. That is, she believes it too. Oh my god, an instant curveball. Wait, but if your fate is blank, then yeah, you're not bound by that. It's not set in stone. I don't know, but you could, right? Whoa. Genuine sense of self not there. But you are not your memories. Oh. I think that's the part that you're choosing. Mm. It'll be a lot easier than dismissing and destroying your child. Maybe it's not her book. Maybe she's holding it for somebody else. What if Subaru holds the book? It just lost. The words lost me, but I love the idea. Which is, you are more important than the promise. Sono hito. Bettino. Oh. Wait, what? Why not? What is that? Why, you don't even know what you were saying no to. Damn. No, damn, you jumping to conclusions. What did you think she meant? Shit. A big one? Who dat? Who dat? Oh, thanks. Just in time. Damn. Alright, we're saving all of them. But there's still, we haven't been able to save one from herself. Shit. Monsters. Monsters! Oh. Monster. So the Witch Fiend was not stopped. Oh, matey. So cute. Pat, 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 pat. Evil. Yeah, not surprised because he knows that you'll be here. Woo! Unashina! Oh god. The befriend plan didn't work. Really interesting sound cues that we're using here. I've just noticed it. Are we setting up a death? No, I don't think so. I think we're setting up a fight. Okay. Yeah! You're on a big dumb slow rhino. Rhinos don't have teeth like that. That's not right. Just got big flat human teeth. Well, maybe they do have teeth like that. No, that's wrong. That's not a rhino, it's a hippo. I'm dumb. Also, still don't have teeth like that. Jesus, I feel really dumb. Okay. Fight, run. We're gonna need Betty. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, and we cut over here. How? Why is he out here? Or this is Bing Bong. Okay, so we're a few minutes ago from where Roswell ends up in the place. Okay. Hmm. This is a present that is not a present that could be. This is what you've lost. What does she see or not see? Okay. Damn. You're pretty. I hope this doesn't offend you. Aww. Alright, that was incredibly cute. Incredibly cute. Holy shit. Damn. Damn. Hmm. So this is like Isle of the Lotus Eaters. This is what is not. It makes the actual loss so much more bitter. But that doesn't mean that this isn't sweet. One such as myself, rumors? Such a close-knit family. Ah! Ah! Thank you, O wise one. Thank you, O wise one. Whoa. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Whoa. Behold an unthinkable present. Yeah, but it cannot be. Yeah. This is not what is. Just escape. Live in memory. Shit. Me too, Emilia. Damn, that's sweet. This is supposed to be a hard trial. It's supposed to make you sad. Oh, okay. She says, crying. Whoa. I don't know how to read that psychologically. We show that it's not real. Look in her reflection. And she looks at herself. Because she has this ideal that she just stated. Whoa. Self-awareness. Whoa. Just like Subaru leaping. Whoa. That was one of the best scenes of the show so far. Holy shit. But they're here. Hmm. Aww. They believe in you. Hmm. The beasts. We're getting there. Hmm. Witness! Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Now you got all these other people backing you. Yeah. Future? Shut the fuck up. Hajija, Hajija. He's so funny. We keep it light. We like to keep it light. All right. We going back in? Hell yeah. Let's go, Emilia. That is the idea. Yeah, how's that going? A murder job. Belief in you again, right? Layers and layers and layers of it. We even started with Garf being like, I'm going to do my part, so boss, you better do your part. And that was transitioning us to Subaru. That's what this is all about. This is all about everybody doing a piece. Back in you go, Emilia. The future. The future. What does the future hold? We don't know. So now her in ripples has completely different meaning because we've presented this scene of her jumping into the water. Which is like, it's so psychologically and like visually rich. From having an image of yourself express disgust in you while crying. While crying. Sparking a self-awareness around how much like effort it's taken to keep you alive, sort of. How much other people have believed in you. I thought this was a really good episode. I think the music choices throughout it were really interesting, and the way that they were arranged was really interesting. I think that the scene swapping as we move from one to the other created some of that element of congruence through separation, through like different sequences. But also it wasn't like thrown together quite as artistically as I might have wanted it. I kind of wanted it to be more blended together. Instead, we sort of flowed in a very standard sort of way as a character sort of references another character, and then we cut to them and have their sequence happen, and then they, like, something happens in that sort of moves to another character, and then we move to another, another sequence. It still works. It just didn't like bowl me over with the overall presentation of the episode. But what did bowl me over was the individual elements. I think they were strong enough on their own that I didn't need that craziness of framing in order to produce the effect that was wanted. I did think we were going to have more of a focus on the physical battles going on, but that isn't really what we're doing here. At least not yet. At least not in this episode. Maybe moving toward finale time will bring the Sakaka together and make it all look really cool. But we're still doing emotional, psychological stuff. We're still fighting in text, right? Like, we're still fighting in ideal space, in thoughts, in communication space. And we get to kind of do that. We place all of our physical only battles, and then our emotional battles continue. Subaru with Beatrice is a core curveball that I thought we were going to save till the end of the episode. But it really just throws everything off. Roswaal told her Beatrice is endlessly betrayed and has no fate and no belief that she can choose anything. And believes that it is set in stone. She's like completely fatalist nihilist with a loss of memory and a complete loss of sense of self at the core of it. Having been abandoned by everyone, she's like internalized it completely in a way that like that transcends what a human experiencing this kind of abandonment would actually experience. It's like way bigger than that because we're dealing with this spirit entity that sort of is that herself as a whole. What part of this did I get to choose? My life is pure white, well and truly blank. But then she says, I do have a soul after all. Scraping memories together and trying to cling them. And even there have been times when I've been afraid to be alone and wanting to be with someone. But regardless, I get left behind. And so that's fate. She calls that fate. That is what the spirit Beatrice is fated for. And she takes this solace that at least she was remembered in a book that said that positioned her as like this abandoned martyr. That's the only identity that she clings to is, I am the one who is hurt. I am the one who is left. There's no sense outside of that. Subaru's response is that that's fucking ridiculous and stupid. I get it. I don't know if that's going to be very effective. This is bigger than that, I think. I don't know how you break through that. Because Betty's not a... Like, with a person, you can generate stability, and you can produce trust over time by ensuring that in circumstances where they think that they're going to be abandoned, it doesn't happen. And sort of entraining their nervous system to believe that it's not going to happen, right? But with Betty, I don't know if that will work. Because there is something about her being bound by contract and being this spirit entity. So I'm not sure. But that's what I would want to do. That's what Subaru has been kind of trying to do, is to be there for her. But now it comes to a head and he is like, okay, been here for you. Really want to keep being here for you. You're going to die if you don't like trust me in this moment. But we come up against these walls that are the structure of who Betty is on the inside. They're not like walls built to keep people out. They are the actual pillars of who she is. You've had a whole 400 years. Couldn't this be a mistake? She would never make such a stupid mistake. So instead she would be cruel and vindictive and destroy you like this? Like, isn't that a bigger mistake? And then, don't let it ruin you forever. Choose for yourself. It's fate. Choose for yourself. That's the argument. It's kind of the argument with Roswaal too. I really like the idea that you have enough time to have a rebellious phase. We lost me once we get to the finding a back door and wanting to die when it was unbreakable. I'm just like not sure what he means by this. And I wasn't sure, but I think I'm gonna parse it out. If keeping a promise means you die, I'd rather break that promise and keep you alive. And then it's like I don't want to compromise on things that are important to me. That's very defiant and selfish. Yes, sure, it's defiant and it's selfish, and that's fine. I refuse to compromise on something that's important to me. Breaking the promise, not important. You surviving, important, I think. So it does seem to me like she's just being stubborn. If you are that person. But I'm not sure what she means by this. And I'm not sure. I do, like, she rejects him because he rejects her. There's no way I could be whoever that person is to you. I don't know what he means by that, because what he means is not what she interprets, I think. Are you dumb? There's no way I could. Unbelievable, that idiot. Damn her jumping to conclusions, which is like, I'm going to be saying something else. What does he mean by that? I think... So again, if she were a real person, I would think nobody can be that person for somebody. Like, that's not how this works. We go back to Monogatari here. It's like, nobody saves another person. That's not how this works. You have to be that person for yourself. Nobody chooses you like that. You get up to the top of the mountain, and there's nothing there. There's no voice that comes down and says, you are the chosen one, like, it's all good, whatever. There's no other human being on this planet that can make you respect yourself, right? That would be the angle that I would think he was going for. But that might not be true for her, because spirits have bonds, right? So, like, she might be very genuinely being like, could you be that bonded human to me? And he's like, dude, I can't do that, when he actually could. I don't know what the fuck that is all about. And in the same sense, like, just because you can't save another person in the sort of Monogatari sense doesn't mean you can't support them and be there for them and be that person who they look to for that support and like, respect and love and sense, and that person that they reflect off of. There's deep importance to being part of a social unit with other people. It really helps them and helps you. There's a mutualism to it if it's done well. So I don't know what the fuck this scene is actually about, and I would really love some insights from other watchers, unless it's going to become imminently clear without the question, and I'm not supposed to know at this point. But it transitions directly into Maju, which fiends bad juju, and the big bad one that's big and bad, and it's really bad. Also, it's not a rhino, it's a hippo, and its teeth are weird. I need to look at this. Oh, yeah. They got big, gnarly tusks right at the front, and they got a couple of little, like, spaced out motherfuckers all down that big honk that they've got. They definitely don't have big, flat, human molars all the way around. That's fucked up. Now, that's not to say that this is, like, wrong in some way. It's not that this is wrong. It's that witch fiends are fucked up. That's what it is. Is that this is good design. It makes me unsettled. This is good design. And it's fucked up. Okay, doing what needed to be done. Big monster is big. It really seems unintimidating. I'm sorry to say this, but this is the least intimidating monster. It's good design because it's fucked up and silly and weird, but it's really not intimidating. It seems really slow and very dumb. Grab the titty. Okay. I love Meili. I think she's really cute. I need to see the teeth. Ah! I didn't expect it to sound so fucking human. Ah! Okay. And then the other one. So, 2 big witch fiend battles now. It's kind of like it's really interesting how many of our pieces just reset to where they were. Like, we learned little bits and stuff. Emilia gets through a full trial. But then, for next episode, kind of we're doing all the same battles again. An unthinkable present. Unthinkable in this case not being awful. Just impossible. The unthinkable past was something that we couldn't remember, we couldn't see. We were protecting ourselves from it. This present is something that we yearn for, that could be a dream. It's like Blitz Sticks. If anybody's been reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, highly recommend, by the way. Very fun series. It's like Blitz Sticks, going back to a memory that you cherish. Being able to see it again. There's something really somber about it. It's beyond nostalgia here, because this isn't nostalgia for something that's real. This is nostalgia for something that could be. This is yearning for something lost forever. This is a dream of potential. So every bit of it is tinged with melancholy and sadness. And it's like the Emilia who awakens here isn't aware of it until the moment that she breaks. But it's made clear to us that she becomes aware of it when she looks in the mirror. And then all of the choices that she makes up until the point that she's talking to Echidna, or until the point that she cries, are made with that cognizant, and then she just breaks at that moment. That's the way I'm reading it, at least. Like, I think she awakens in this space and is like confused to see Mother Fortuna. But then in the "you're all dressed up today" moment, it's like when you wake up from a dream and you're not sure where reality is, and then you slip back into it and like you forget about the dream completely. It's like the real world that she just came from is that dream, and it slips away. And she locks in. And stays locked in until the moment that she goes. Because we're in the moment here. We're like sunk into it. We're feeling it completely. Until the moment she goes and looks in the mirror. And then she stops. And we get this like pure shock expression as she looks in the mirror. And we don't get to see what it is. Just the world turns. And everything is different. And then she makes a move, a visitor. And she chooses to like break that scene. From then, everything in the scene keeps playing, and I think she's conscious of all of it. I love Mother Fortuna. I think the interactions between them are so beautiful and cute, and are all, again, tinged with despair, because none of this is or could be. But that's not how we're looking at it. It's not how Emilia is really looking at it. She's seeing this dream in this world and using that as inspiration for what can actually be. This beauty and this pastiche of moments, this collage of love, companionship, friendship, family, interactions with society and not being judged and hated by them either. No tinge of being rejected for being a half-elf. None of this, none of the things that are in reality influence this one. Of course she has. She's a daughter I can be proud of. Of course, how could I not see it? And that's where she breaks. So this is one of the only things I wrote down for the episode, is I really wanted to look at this and watch how she breaks. She twitches, and then a little gulp, and then turns away. It's just so sudden. Fuck. Those lovely purple eyes. Please stay super duper close forever and ever. That world doesn't exist anywhere, does it? And then Archie breaks out. The future you wished for, but it cannot be. And Archie just lays it all out. She's dead. He might be. These people don't exist anymore. They're all frozen. People persecute you. Puck isn't around anymore. You could just live here. Why do you wish for that future? Her answer is really stunning to me. I want to be an admirable person. And she goes through all the people who've sacrificed. She sees the admiration in all of them, right? Role models, these people who've done so much, kind and strong. But each of them has, sacrificed themselves, was lost and is gone. Puck, who's always protected me, for all of these people. Who says he loves me and does reckless things. She can't really even believe it. But she believes he says it, and there's something about that. I want to look admirable to all of them. I want them to respect me. I want to be amongst them, you know? And I want to be the one reaching out to help someone. I think this is a state that follows almost necessarily from comprehension of the nature of human interaction and interconnectedness. When observed through a lens of serious compassion. Of seeing the people who've touched your lives with all of their faults, and seeing the experiences that have changed you and have changed reality. I think the almost inevitable result of that kind of serious study is this actualization and recognition of self as something that consumes and has taken in value or love or energy or something. And something about that can lead, should lead, I think, to wanting to do that in turn. I think there are a lot of factors that can make that go awry or go in a different direction. But I think that's sort of the goal in some sense, is to be aware of the interconnected nature of life and how much better it gets with the awareness of that engaged with actively. And Emilia goes through it here and does so in a recognition of self, including flaws, compassionately, of failures of the past, of all of the people around her and their self-sacrifices and failures in the past, seeing them as they actually were, and even though it's impossible, wishing for them to be well, wishing for a world where they could be well, even if that means you're separated out from it. And that's what Emilia is here. It builds this urge in her, this need that's different from the need to be exactly like their role models. It's its own version. It's not a self that's identified as an amalgam of other selves. It's a self that recognizes itself as part of everything else. So I'll be fine. I'm not afraid of the outside world or the future. I'm just fine. Okay, so we laugh about it a little bit. We look down, and when we turn back, it's Echidna. Thank you for showing me this. And again, Echidna is furious. She has tears in her eyes. I'd never think I'd get to see them. So thank you. You disgust me. Tears in her eyes. I just hate you so much. And she blurs out. And the whole world blurs out and becomes fiction. Like, the dream, the mask of the dream is gone. The veil is lifted, right? We see that this is a simulation. So she looks over to them. She looks over, and it's a reflection. Sees self. And it's really at odds with this idea of who she wants to be. All this internalized other people's view on her is really at odds with the way that she wants to be. So she opens her eyes and she looks at who she actually is in the mirror. these connections with Puck mostly. And maybe this is what Echidna sees. But she sees her own weakness here. How much have I been protected by others? And jumps. Eyes wide open. Right to the edge. Self mirror. Self and shadow, potentially. And what she says afterward is that she doesn't actually look that much like Mother Fortuna. That her idea of self. So maybe we read that like literally physically, right? And that has to do with relationships, because I don't think Mother Fortuna is actually her mom. Not exactly sure, but I don't think so. Maybe. Or the idea that she has of herself, her imagistic representation of self, is steeped in this image of other. She's an echo of a parent, like we all are. And she finally here sees herself in this mirror of the water and sees that that's not the case, that she's her own person, shaped by her own experiences. She has these relationships, and she doesn't have to cut those off in order to recognize this. But she does have to step outside of this world where she is that image of them. I think it's really cool. Well, look at that. Sun then. And having chosen to dive in, she vanishes from this space and returns to a village full of people who are all here to support her. And in some way having united them too. Now these people all show faith in her. And she's worth showing faith in too. She's got it. Into the future. The reflection of the title. That's really cool. This is a cool episode. There are some pieces of this that are really, really deeply well thought through. That pleases me. I like when people making art, especially if they're doing an adaptation of another piece of art, spend some real serious time to create images that have a strong meaning for that. It's like the eyes in eyes that we had, or some other moments. They're peppered in throughout ReZero, and they make it. They make the show. They make the show strong for me. I think without them, it would be really lacking. It would be really lacking. There are shows where that sort of representational imagery is really throughout it, not peppered over, but steeped in it, really like strong throughout. ReZero is really interesting to me because it jumps out and has this very standard presentation of a lot of things, right? Character A walks over to character B and they have a conversation, and then we cut to another thing and there's a conversation. It's lots of conversations happening, lots of very standard presentation of stuff. Not super artistic, and then it goes super artistic and it nails it. And I'm like, all right, fuck, shit. All right, cool. This is good. This is good. We'll keep on keeping on with ReZero as we go. Thanks for joining me for this episode. I'm curious to see. Again, it's kind of like we've reset our positions a little bit. Everything's moved and progressed a little. We've seen it all happen, and things are all happening. But like, Elsa's still fighting Gar. Roswell's still fighting Ram. Rem is still asleep, out of the house. Betty's still in the room. Like, we've made little bits of progress and information on all of it. Emilia's still going in for another trial. It's like we kind of could have just skipped this episode and we would have lost everything that's in this episode, but the narrative pieces on each end would still tie together. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Oh, the emotional pieces wouldn't, though, and those are maybe more important. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for more ReZero. Much love. Peace.